Hello everyone and welcome to the walkthrough video of Illyriad Empires. I'm going to be showing you a sample turn of our upcoming strategy board game, so that way you can learn how to play. After seeing a single turn of the game, you'll be able to understand the basics and try it out on Tabletop Simulator yourself. This is actually the same demo that I did at Origins Game Fair as well. So let's get started. I'm going to walk you through a sample turn using the Elf Player. This is going to be your player card. It shows what city you start with, what cards you start in your deck, and it goes over the turn order for you. More information is on the back of the player card, but we'll get to this when we enter the combat step. So the first thing you're going to do during your turn is you're going to flip over the next card of the Lunar Phase deck. That's going to be this deck down here. It always starts in order, and you can check the number at the bottom left-hand corner to know what order the deck goes in. You're going to collect the resources shown on this card, so +1 clay. Next, you're going to collect more resources. You're going to collect resources based on the tiles that you control, aka the tiles you have sovereignty over. You have sovereignty over a tile if it is your starting city or you have one of your troops on it. So we control our starting city, this mountain, and this plains. So we're going to collect resources based on those. If you check your player card, your starting city is always going to produce 1 wood for you. So that is a wood gained. Next, we are going to collect resources based on these tiles. We control a plains, and a plain produces 1 stone. So we get 1 stone from here. Next, we control this mountain. We get an iron from our mountain. And those are the resources we collect based on the tiles we control. Now, we're going to play our cards. So draw 5 cards from your deck. At the start of the game, your deck's only going to contain these basic resource cards. Each of these basic resource cards has 2 different resources on it, and when you play it, you get to choose which resource you want to collect off that card. Then, since this game's been going on for a little bit, we also have some magic and research cards that we have collected and have added to our deck. So when you play one of these cards, you simply carry out what it says on the card. Nature's Quarry produces 3 stone, so we're going to do that. Next, I'm going to go check the market and see if there's any of these cards that I want. Yeah, some of these cards look pretty good. If you check these cards, you can see how much they cost in the upper right-hand corner and which resource, either research or magic, it costs. So Gift of Earth costs 1 magic. So to produce that 1 magic, I will play this card. Instead of collecting the stone from it, I will collect a magic point. Then, off of the rest of my cards, I'm just going to get their shown resources. So clay, stone, wood. Clay, stone, wood. Okay. Now, we're going to purchase some cards. I'm going to spend this magic to purchase Gift of Earth, adding it to the deck, and we restock the market. Now it's going to be the military phase. So we are going to recruit our units. As you can check on the back on the military side, each unit costs a specific combination of 2 resources, or infantry costs 2 of any resource. Infantry is your weakest unit. It provides no benefits or bonuses in combat, just adds an extra die to your die pool. We'll cover that when we get into combat. So that's why they're cheaper to produce. So I'm going to go ahead and make 1 cavalry. Whenever you recruit a unit, it always goes to your home city. Then I will make 2 spearmen. And lastly, I will make 1 infantryman. Okay, so now we're going to move our units. Our units can move 1 hex during their turn. So I'm going to spread out here, And that seems pretty good. Now, you might have noticed we haven't moved these units yet. That's because I'm going to move them onto this tile where the dwarves are. When your units move onto a tile where enemy units are, combat takes place. Here's how combat works. Each side rolls dice equal to the number of units they have in combat. So the elves are going to roll these two, and the dwarves are going to roll these two. That was a pretty bad roll for the elves, but we're not done just yet. Now we calculate our bonuses. So first, we're going to calculate our troop bonuses. We have a cavalryman in combat, and there's an archer on the enemy side. So that means our cavalry gets +1 versus ranged, and there is a ranged unit that we're fighting. So we have 1 to our bonus pool so far. Now we're going to calculate terrain bonuses. We're fighting in a forest, so that'll be +1 to siege units. No siege units in combat, so nothing happens, but -1 to ranged units. There is a ranged unit in combat, so the dwarves have -1 to their bonus pool. Okay, let's apply those bonuses. For each bonus point you have in combat, you get to upgrade one of your dice. So I'm going to upgrade this 2 to a 3. And the dwarves have to downgrade one of their die. So they're going to downgrade their 3 to a 2. Okay, now we calculate hits. A 5 or a 6 is a hit, and anything else is a miss. So the dwarves have 1 hit, and the elves have no hits. So the elves have to choose one of their units and remove it from the table. Okay, this combat wasn't successful for the elves, so they don't get to stay on this hex, and they have to move back to the hex they attacked from. Now, let's say, hypothetically, the elves were successful in their attack, and they scored 2 hits, wiping out the dwarves. The elves would then capture and hold this hex. That hex would now produce resources for the elves come the elves' next turn. The goal of the game is to capture all of the enemy cities and be the last player standing. When your city is captured, you're eliminated from the game. And that's it. That's how to play Illyriad Empires. Those were the basics, and they're pretty straightforward. Give it a shot on Tabletop Simulator. It's ready to play today. Our link to our Kickstarter is down in the description below. We will be entering our funding period very soon, so make sure you follow. Thank you all very much for watching. I've been Speedrobo, and I'll see you next time.